Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a lemon tart pie recipe. So first we are going to be making the crust of the lemon tart pie. So first you're going to want to do 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Once you have added your heavy whipping cream, you're going to add 1 egg yolk, no egg white. And then you're going to want to whisk this together until it's fully whisked. And then you're going to want to set the bowl aside. Now you're going to want to get a large bowl, and in this bowl you're going to want to add your dry ingredients. So you're going to want to add 1 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now that you have added all of your dry ingredients, you're going to want to whisk this together. Now that you have mixed together all of your dry ingredients, you're now going to want to add 1/2 cup of butter to the dry ingredients, and make sure to cut them into mini slabs. Now you can always use a spoon or a fork to mix this, but I decided to use my hands only for the sole fact that it is very hard to mix cold butter with dry ingredients. But the whole point is to have a crummy kind of look at the end of mixing this portion. Once you have fully mixed it, you now may add the eggs that you mixed previously that you set aside. Now you're going to want to use a fork or a spoon to mix together the eggs with the dry ingredients. Now that it is completely combined, you're going to want to go back in with your hands to knead the dough and make sure to properly combine it all together and have your dough complete. Once the dough is completely done being mixed, you're going to want to get out a plastic wrap or foil, and you're going to want to wrap it up and store it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes of being in the fridge, you're going to want to now roll out the dough so that way it can go into the pan nice and flat. Once you have flattened it out to the best of your ability, you're now going to want to roll the dough onto your pan so that way it can be easily transferred onto the pie pan. Now that you have rolled the dough onto the pan, I recommend to cut the excess off of the sides of the pan. Now, if you have some gaps on the side of your pie, you can now use the excess dough to fill in those gaps. And I definitely recommend pushing it down so that way it's the same size as the pie crust. Now that you have finished putting it onto the pan, you are going to want to puncture tiny little holes with your fork on the bottom of the pie crust. And once you have finished this, you are going to want to put your pie crust into the freezer for 30 minutes so that way it can become solid. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees and leave it in there for 20 minutes. While the pie crust is baking, we can now make the tart. So first we are going to want to add all of our eggs and egg yolks into one separate bowl. So first you're going to want to do 4 regular whole eggs and 2 egg yolks without the whites. Whisk this together until fully combined. set the bowl of eggs aside, and then you're going to want to zest 2 lemons in a medium pot. Now set aside the medium pot of zested lemons, and you're going to want to squeeze now half a cup of lemons into a bowl. Make sure to put a strainer over it so that way you do not have the seeds or any pulp go into the bowl. Now add in half a cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter on top of the half a cup of lemon juice into the medium pot of lemon zested lemons. Now you're going to want to also add 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now put the pot on a stove over medium heat and mix it until there are bubbles being formed in the mix. Once you've kept mixing, this is what it should look like whenever you are done. Now, since we are going to have to combine the eggs into the mix, I recommend putting a little bit of that liquid into the eggs so that way the eggs can alchemate to this hot temperature that it's going to be thrown into. This is to prevent the eggs from curdling into the mix, and it also helps reduce the coldness of the eggs. Now put the pot back on the stove, but this time on low heat, and make sure to mix vigorously to make sure you fully combine and to prevent the curdling of the eggs. After you have been mixing a bunch over the low heat, it should then end up looking like this and popping exactly like this. Now you're going to want to take it off the stove and strain this tart because you do not want to have the lemon zest or lemon chunks inside your pie. Now that you have finished straining, you're going to want to add the curd into the pie crust. Make sure once you're done with that to shake it so that way you can level it out. Place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes or until the edges are completely stuck onto the side and the middle is still wobbly. After you have cooked it, you're now going to want to give it a little shake to make sure that is only wobbly in the middle and on the sides it is more firm. This is exactly how to make a foolproof lemon tart recipe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!